welcome to the Island Stroll Cal Part 5. I'm Tess from Sisters in Stitch, and together with the amazing team of Yarn and Colors, we have come together to bring you these two lovely projects. Either we are making a blanket or a pillow, depending on what yarn weight you are choosing to use. Today we are making this gorgeous, lovely floral square that is called the LA Sunflower. And what I love most about this beautiful, beautiful design is this modern, gorgeous looking flower that rests in the center, which has lovely stitches. And then we have this lovely lace framing that is in itself framed by a denser part again. So we are going from dense to lace to dense again. And it will match absolutely beautifully with the rest of our squares. So to make this square, this very exact one with all the same colors, you will need 6 colors of the mustard yarn from Yarn and Colors in the shades mustard, old pink, pearl, cream, ecru and limestone. And we have also used a 3mm hook that goes with it, a darning needle and scissors to tackle those ends. And if you're making the blanket version, isn't she amazing? You will use super must-haves in exactly the same colors together with a 6mm hook. And as you can tell, there is quite a size difference. In must-have, this one will measure 12.5 times 12.5 centimeters unblocked. And in super must-have, it will measure 22.5 centimeters or 23 unblocked, okay? Because this is an unblocking project, they will stretch themselves out as we assemble the blanket and the pillow. And no matter which colorway you are crocheting, saunter in the sunlight, stroll by the sea or walk in the woods, just check the little divider notes that appears in between the shots to know what colors to use. And as always with us here at Sisters in Stitch, we are using US terminology throughout, and you can find all the abbreviations, terminology and stitches used in the stitch guide that is placed on our homepage sistersinstitch.com as a free download together with the free written pattern. So gather your things and let's begin. So to begin, we start with a magic circle, and of course you can choose to start with a chain one if you want to, but I think this gives neater closures, so I'm going with this technique, okay? And into this magic circle we are placing 8 single crochets, and I start with a standing one, so I'm just diving right in and do my first single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Like that. Gorgeous. So now we're simply pulling our threads out and placing it back into the circle center. Pull and tighten. Like that. And the next round starts with a slip stitch. So this closing slip stitch that we are about to do now into the first stitch counts as the first stitch of the previous round, okay? So don't fasten off your yarn, just keep on going with the same. For round number 2, we are beginning with our slip stitch that we just made, that counts as the first one, and then we chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we slip stitch right back in to the same stitch, creating this lovely little loop where we will be placing our center petals, okay? So this is what we will do. We go into the next stitch, make a slip stitch like that, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then slip stitch back into the same one, okay? So just go around and do this, slip stitch, chain 4, and slip stitch back into the same stitch. Do that 5 more times and then meet me up to close, okay? We have now come all the way around and you should have 8 chain 4 spaces and 16 slip stitches, okay? And what you will do now is simply fasten off your beginning end first on the back side here, making sure the center is tight and closed, and then you just fasten off your working ends in the same way, okay? So do that and meet me up for round number 3, where we will begin our petal rounds. So to begin our next round, we are finding ourselves a chain 4 space and place a standing double crochet around it. Like that. And then we make 2 more. So 1 and 2. You should now have 3 double crochets around it. Chain 1 and make 3 more double crochets around the same chain 4 space that we're working in. So 1, 2 and 3. Like that. And this is now our petal. And to anchor it, we are doing a front post single crochet around these 2 chain 4 spaces, okay? So what we will do is simply go into the chain 4 space that we are already working in and up the next, like that. Fold your work a little bit so it's easier, and then just make a front post single crochet around it and tighten, like that. And now we are repeating, so we are going into the next chain 4 space and work 3 double crochets. So 1, 2 and 3, and then we are chaining 1 and making 3 more, okay? So 1, 2 and 3, like that. And then we're doing the front post single crochet, so into the chain 4 space that we're working in and up the next, folding it slightly so it's easier to get a hold of it, and do a front post single crochet and tighten. And this is all that we are repeating. We're placing 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets around the chain 4 space, and then work a front post single crochet around both chain spaces close to the slip stitches from round number 2. And this will give us round little gorgeous petals that will actually fold themselves a bit as we continue around in our other chain spaces, because there will be a lot of stitches here. But don't worry, this is part of the design. It's supposed to do this, so just trust the process and it will turn out absolutely gorgeously, okay? So continue doing this all the way around 6 more times and meet me up to close. So we are all the way around. I have just finished my last front post single crochet, and we are now fastening off with an invisible join to the second stitch, being the second double crochet of the round, the first real one after the standing one, okay? So do that. Hide everything back here in the petal where you hold the most yarn, because there is where it will be the most invisible, okay? So do that and meet me up for our next round. So before we begin our round number 4, I want you to take your flower and turn it with the back side up so you can see where we are placing our stitches for this round. So can you tell that there are 2 horizontal lines in between each petal here on the back? This is the lines that were created when we were placing our front post single crochets in the previous round. And it's in here that we are placing our slip stitches for round number 4, okay? Around all of these, there will be placed slip stitches. And if they are a bit tight, you can do as I do. Just go in with your needle, gently below it, between the yellow and the pink, and just pull it slightly towards you. Just to create some wiggle room, it will be easier to get your hook in there. So now that we know that, we can turn our work back around so it's facing us, and then we can begin. So besides the placement of the stitches, this is quite a calm round, okay? So what you will do is that you will have your flower facing you, and then gently just fold your petals over so you can see those 2 lines. And then go in with your hook below them, like that, and do a slip stitch. And tighten. And then you chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3. And then you fold it down, go below it, and do a slip stitch. And tighten. And chain 3, turn the next one down, find the bars and go under them, all of them, there we go. And then do a slip stitch and tighten. So repeat this all the way around, and by the end of it you should have 8 chain 3 spaces and 8 slip stitches. So just continue around and meet me up to close. So I have now come all the way around. As you can tell, I have finished my last chain 3 space, and to close this round we simply slip stitch into the very first slip stitch of the round, okay? Like that. And then we are ready to begin round number 5. So for round number 5, we're continuing on with the same color of the yarn. So I'm just going to dive in and begin with placing a standing single crochet around the next chain 3 space. Like that. And then I do 4 more around the same. So we should have 5 in total. So our first, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like that. And then we skip the next one, which is our slip stitch, and go into the next chain 3 space and do 5 single crochets. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we skip the slip stitch and work 5 around the next one as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So continue on with this for all 8 chain 3 spaces and meet me up to close. So I have come all the way around and it looks quite busy on the back side, but this will be the foundation for our back petals to stand on. So this needs to be very solid, and that is what we just created. So to close, we simply slip stitch into the very first single crochet of this round, because we are carrying on with the same yarn for round number 6. And here comes the part where I say to begin this round, but we have actually already begun. So this slip stitch that was the closing one from our previous will act as our first one. So in the same stitch, which is the first single crochet of a set of 5, we are also placing a double crochet to bubble, okay? So we are doing 2 half finished double crochets that will be turned into a bubble in the stitch. So I'm just raising my loop, going around it, grabbing the yarn, pulling it to the front, 2 loops on my hook. This is the first half finished. So yarning over again, going into the same stitch and doing another half finished double crochet. Like that. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And just wiggle with your hook if it's a bit tricky to get through them, okay? And then in the next stitch we are doing another double crochet to bubble. So just go ahead and do 1 half finished double crochet, yarn over and into the same stitch, do another half finished double crochet, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, like that. And now we are chaining 2 because 1 and 2 we are connecting our petals to this backdrop, okay? So around the chain space from the petals made in round number 3, we are doing a slip stitch. Nothing harder than that, just a normal slip stitch, and tighten. And then we chain 2 and go back to our round that we are working in, skipping the next stitch, and into the 4th single crochet of a set of 5, we are doing a double crochet to bubble. So 2 half finished double crochets into that stitch, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And now we're doing a double crochet to bubble into the next stitch as well, which will be the 5th of a set of 5, like that, and slip stitch back into the same stitch to bring this petal down, okay, and give it some shape. And this is how it's supposed to look when you have done the first repeat. You have this lovely little rounded backdrop to your petal. They are connected, and yeah, just adorable. So I will do one more with you, okay? So fold your petals forward so you can see what you're doing, and into the next stitch, work a slip stitch, like that, and then do a DC2 bubble into the same stitch. Like that. And now we are doing another double crochet 2 bubble in the next stitch. And chaining 2, 1 and 2. Bringing our petal back so we can see it, and into the chain 1 space, make a slip stitch and tighten. Chain 2 again, skip the next stitch, the third one of a set of 5, and into the fourth make a double crochet 2 bubble, like that. And into the next stitch, which will be the last of a set of 5, do a double crochet 2 bubble and slip stitch to bring the petal down. Okay? Adorable! And please note that if you find any of these sections tricky, you can always rewind and rewatch, and you can also change the player speed of the video in the settings below here, okay? So it goes a little bit slower for you. I wish you lots of fun with it. Do this for the next 6 petals and meet me up to close. And now I'm all the way around, and I was a little bit too eager, so I actually fastened off my end, sorry. But all that you do is simply hide them on the back side where there is the most yarn, okay? So do that and meet me up for our next round. So to begin this round, we are finding ourselves a chain 2 space placed to the right of the slip stitch at the top. So we are starting with a standing stitch and making a half double crochet, like that. And then we're placing 2 more around the same space. So we have 3 in total. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're making a picot, so we are chaining 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now a slip stitch through the half double crochets front loop and first bar of the leg, okay? So just make a slip stitch there, like that. And the reasons why we are going through the half double crochet and not through the first chain is because we want to get, if you separate them a little bit, you can tell there is a little placement here, opportunity for us to place our squaring out sections, okay? So in this space is where we will place our stitches for the framing. So you want that, so don't go through the chain 1 because then it will be too small. And now we are skipping the slip stitch and going directly into our second chain 2 space and work 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then we are making 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, which is this first double crochet 2 bubble after the slip stitch. So 1 and 2, and into the next one we are making a slip stitch. And now we're making a tall slip stitch, which is just like a regular slip stitch, but it's relaxed and lace with tall legs here, okay? I'll show you. And if you separate the stitches a little bit, just pulling on your bubbles, you will see these 2 gaps, and we are going into the left one, okay? It already holds stitches, but we're just going in there and placing a relaxed, kind of relaxed slip stitch. It will look like this. It will be a line just going up there. And we're skipping all other stitches and we're only working in the DC2 bubbles and in this space. So into the next DC2 bubble, we are making a slip stitch, a normal slip stitch. Look, it's so cute. And then into our bubble, we are making 2 half double crochets, like that. So it will look something like this. I'll show you from the back. And now I will make this repeat one more time with you so you have a full petal to see, okay? Around the next chain 2 space, we are making 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chaining 3 for our picot, so 1 and 2, and 3, going through the front loop and the first loop of the leg, making a slip stitch. Like that, skipping the slip stitch, and around the next chain 2 space, we are working 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And into the next stitch, we are working 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2. And into our next stitch, we are making a slip stitch. Like that. Look how adorable. And now we are placing a long slip stitch. So just go into that space, pull up the yarn, and make a slip stitch. Like that. Skipping all the stitches behind and working into our first bubble of a set of a petal, and working a slip stitch. Like that. And then into the next stitch, we're making 2 half double crochets. And that's the repeat. So it should look like this. We are creating these lovely little pointy petals with slip stitches, tulle slip stitches in here, just to bringing the color down. And try not to pull them too tightly, because you don't want your work to go like this. You want it to lay quite flat and relaxed up here. It's just for framing. It's like drawing a line with a pencil. It's not supposed to do anything other than that, okay? And don't do it too loose either, because you don't want it to be flopsy. So just lagom, as we say in Swedish. Not too much, not too little, just perfect. So go around and continue all the way and meet me up to close. See you in a bit. So we're all the way around, and you will just have to make her lay flat. Just pull a little bit to the petals and it will be absolutely gorgeous, okay? Like that. And now what you will do is just cut your yarn and close with an invisible join to the second stitch, which is the half double crochet, the second one, or the first real one, depending on what you used for start. So this is what she looks like from the back side. Super cute. I love these long slip stitches. They are adorable. It looks a bit weird from the beginning, but when you see it all come together, I think it makes perfect sense. So yeah, I hope you had fun with this round. This was the last really tricky one, I have to say. The rest is just framing, and oh, it will be so lovely. So fasten off your ends and meet me up for round number 8. Hi lovelies, so it's time for that part of squaring out. And do you remember that I was talking to you about how we are making our picots because we are putting stitches in them? This is the part where we do that. So you go and find yourself a little picot, and around that chain 3 space is where we will begin. So I'm going for this one, and we start with a standing stitch and a single crochet. Like that. And then I chain 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just making sure that they are quite equal in size. And then around the next chain 3 space of a picot, I make a single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet. Like that. And now we chain 6 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like that. And now we are repeating our repeat. So around the next chain 3 space, we work a single crochet. Chaining 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And around the next chain 3 space, we make a single crochet, like that, chain 1, and a single crochet around the same chain 3 space. And then we chain 6. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So do that 2 more times and meet me up to close. We are now all the way around, and as you can tell, we have 4 single crochets and we have 4 sets of these single crochet, chain one, single crochet combinations. And you can always add or lose a chain stitch on these sections if you feel like they are either pulling too much or if they are way too loose. They are supposed to look like this, relaxed, allowing the picots to stand up, but not be too flaky or something like that, okay? And then you simply close with a slip stitch to the first stitch because we are carrying on with the same yarn for round number 9. So to begin round 9, we simply chain 1 for the height and then we work a single crochet into the single crochet. Like that. And then we do 10 single crochets around the chain 6 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Like that. And now we're placing a single crochet in the next stitch, which is the single crochet. And then around the chain 1 space, here, we are placing a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet. So we get this lovely little peak, and one would think that we are now skipping the next stitch, but we are not. We are working a single crochet in there too. Like that. And then we do 10 single crochets around the next chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if you're a little bit crowded, just scooch them over and do your last 10. There we go. So this is how it's beginning to look. It's arching and it has a point. Super cute. So I'll do the repeat one more time with you. So a single crochet in the next stitch, followed by 10 single crochets around the chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we do a single crochet in the next stitch, which is the single crochet, like that. And then around the chain 1 space, we are making a single crochet, chaining 2, and then a single crochet, all around the same chain 1 space. And we are not forgetting about placing a single crochet in the single crochet as well, like that. And then we make 10 single crochets around the chain 6 space. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So continue like this 2 more times and meet me up to close. So we are now all the way around and it looks so sweet, like a little medallion or something. And we are now simply fastening off with an invisible join to the second stitch, being the second single crochet. The chain 1 was just for height, do you remember? Hide your ends on the back side here and meet me up for round number 10. So for round number 10, you're finding yourself any given chain 2 space, and into it you place a single crochet. And I'm doing a standing one, so I just went in there. And then you chain 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you skip the next 6 stitches. So we are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And into the 7th, that is placed right in the middle, do a single crochet, like that. And now we're yarning over twice because we're placing lots of trebles in here. So we're skipping the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you should arrive in the single crochet that is placed in the connecting single crochet, okay? So just go ahead and do it nice and slowly, like that. And then chaining 1. And then we yarn over twice again, going into the same stitch, pulling through 2, pulling through 2, pulling through 2. And chain 1. We are supposed to end up with 5 trebles here, so we just keep on going. So going through 2, going through 2, going through 2. Chain 1. Now we are up to 3, so this will be our 4th treble. Going through 2, going through 2, and going through 2. And then we chain 1 and do our final treble, okay? So 1 and 2 and 3, like that. And you will end up with this lovely little fan. And it's okay if you are making the first one a little loose, this little line here will be longer, but don't worry because we're placing stitches around it, so it will be pulled upwards in the next round, okay? So just do it as it feels right to you, and don't worry, we will sort up any hanging little bits for the next round. So when we have done that, we are skipping the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th one, we make a single crochet, like that. And then we chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're skipping 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which leads us up to our chain 2 space, where we will place a single crochet and begin our next repeat. So the repeat is from here to here. So we have the single crochet, chain 5, skipping 6 stitches, single crochet in the next stitch, skip 5 and make a treble, chain 1, treble, chain 1, treble, chain 1, treble, chain 1, treble. 5 trebles in total, 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 1 spaces, skipping the next 5 stitches, putting a single crochet in the 7th, chaining 5 and skipping 6. I will do this one more time with you, just so we get the hang of it, but it's quite nice and calm, I hope. The trebles might be a little bit tricky, but take it nice and slow and they will be absolutely gorgeous, okay? So the repeat begins with a single crochet around the chain 2 space, and then we chain 5, so 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we skip 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the 7th, we do a single crochet. And then we yarn over twice, because we're going into the next stitch with a treble. And this one is where I ended my last round, so I will be a little bit careful not to pulling too tight on it. So just keep on going. Do you see? I'm just going very, very slowly into it, having my 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2, like that. And now we do this 4 more times. So 1, 2 trebles and a chain 1, 3 trebles and a chain 1, 4 trebles and a chain 1, and we end with a treble. So you should now have 5 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just make sure that you have that. And then we're skipping 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And make a single crochet in the 6th. And then we chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skipping 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going up to the chain space again. So do this 2 more times and meet me up to close. So we have now come all the way around, and I simply close with a slip stitch to the first stitch because we are carrying on with the same yarn for our next round. And you should now have 4 corners with 5 trebles in each with a chain 1 in between them. And this center one will become our new corner in the next round, okay? So we are just enjoying these calm sides and lovely lacy corners. Gorgeous! So do a little slip stitch there and then meet me up for round number 11. To begin, I simply do a chain 1 to get the height, and then I do a single crochet in the single crochet. Okay, so the chain 1 is just for height, it's not a stitch on its own. And then we are working 5 single crochets around the next chain 5 space. So 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then we are doing a half double crochet in the next stitch, which is the single crochet, like that. And the next one will be placed around the space between the single crochet and the treble. So we are going here and not in here, okay? So just yarn over, go under, and just do a normal half double crochet, like that. And then we skip the treble and make 2 single crochets around the next chain 1 space, like that. And then we skip the treble and make 2 single crochets around the next chain 1 space too, like that. And now we are actually working in the treble, so we are making a single crochet, chaining 1, and a single crochet. And this will be our new corner, so you can mark it with a stitch marker if you want to, okay? And then we are making 2 single crochets around the next chain 1 space. And then we are skipping the treble and making 2 single crochets around the next chain 1 space. And now we are skipping the treble and just doing as we did on the other side, going with a half double crochet between the treble and the single crochet, just to make sure everything is nice and tight here. I like that. And then a half double crochet into that single crochet as well. And then we do 5 single crochets around the next chain 5 space. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. So this is the repeat. You make a single crochet in the single crochet, 5 single crochets around the next chain 5 space, a half double crochet in the next stitch, which is the single crochet, and a half double crochet around the space between the treble and the single crochet. Skipping the treble, making 2 single crochets around the chain 1 space, skipping the treble, making 2 single crochets around the chain 1 space, working a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the center treble, making 2 single crochets around the chain 1 space, skipping the treble, 2 single crochets around the next chain 1 space too, skipping the treble, making a half double crochet around the space between the treble and the single crochet, a half double crochet into that single crochet, and then 5 single crochets around the next chain 5 space. Okay, so take it nice and slow and just go all the way around 3 more times here and meet me up to close. And we have come all the way around now, so what you will do is simply just spread your single crochets so they lie evenly on the chain 5 spaces, okay? So simply close with an invisible join to the second stitch, which will be the first single crochet around a chain 5 space, okay? After your single crochet here. So do that and meet me up for round number 12. So for round number 12, we are working around any given chain 1 space placed on top of the center treble, okay? And around that we begin with a standing half double crochet, like that, followed by another one around the same chain 1 space, and then we chain 1 and do 2 more half double crochets around that space, okay? So 1 and 2, like that. And then we're skipping the next stitch, which is the single crochet, and working 1 half double crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, like that. And then we're placing a single crochet in the next 11 stitches, which will be all the single crochets around both chain 5 spaces plus this center one, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, falling into this one, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Like that. And now you should have arrived to our next half double crochet here, and in this one and the next 6 stitches we're placing a half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you should now have 1 stitch left before our chain 1 space here, like that, and that one we are skipping too. So you are skipping every first and last stitch before a corner, okay? So do that all the way around, placing 2 half double crochets, chain 1, 2 half double crochets around the center chain 1 space, skipping the next stitch, 1 half double crochet in the next 6 stitches, 1 single crochet in the next 11 stitches, and 1 half double crochet in the next 6 stitches, skipping the last one. Do that 3 more times and close with an invisible join to the second stitch, and then we are about to start our very last round for this square. I wish you lots of fun and see you in a short bit. To begin our very last round, we are simply finding ourselves a corner chain 1 space and placing a standing single crochet around it. Like that. And then we chain 2, so 1 and 2, and then place another single crochet around the same chain 1 space. Like that. And now we are skipping the next stitch, which is kind of hidden, and going into the next stitch and making a single crochet. And for the remaining stitches as well for this side, okay? So this is just the framing. It will be super simple, calm, relaxing, and so gorgeous. I love framing it with this sunshine because it feels like it ties everything together and just, yeah, this round makes me smile. So I really hope you are having a lovely time with your crochet here and that you are enjoying the makes. Maybe learning something new or finding inspiration for other makes and things. So we are just keep on going like this. It should be 26 stitches to get to the other side. So just keep on working and you'll get to the next corner. Like so. So we are going to do this 3 more times. We are placing a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet around the chain 1 space of the corner, skipping the next stitch that is kind of hidden, and then working 1 single crochet in each stitch across, which should be 26 stitches, okay? So do that and meet me up to close. And here she is, our finished LA sunflower. Oh, she looks magical, doesn't she? I just love this one. I love how textured the flower is, how whimsical it is, how fun it is to work up with all its ups and downs and everything. And then you have this gorgeous framing that just folds absolutely sweetly around it, together with these little gorgeous treble corners that are lacy and light, but still has a framing that is quite solid and will hold really well up in the blanket and pillows, okay? Close with an invisible join to the second stitch, which is the first chain of the 2 in a corner, and then hide your ends as neatly as you can, and meet me up for some final words. Oh my, we have now finished our LA sunflower square. It looks absolutely fantastic and I hope you had a lovely time making it. If you loved this tutorial, please give us a thumbs up, leave a little comment below, subscribe to our channel and turn the notifications on because a new tutorial is coming this very next Friday and 5 more to come after that. So stay tuned and see you soon. Bye!